In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on February 23rd, 2026, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. San Antonio Spurs versus Detroit Pistons. The San Antonio Spurs head to Little Caesars Arena to take on the Detroit Pistons on Monday night. It has the feel of a big one, the kind of regular season matchup that people might bring up months later if these two see each other again when the stakes are higher. San Antonio comes in feeling very good about itself after beating the Kings and the Suns, with the Raptors on deck next. The Spurs have taken 13 of their last 16 games, which is the kind of heater that gives a team a little extra swagger before tip-off. Detroit has handled its business too, knocking off the Knicks and the Bulls and looking ahead to the Thunder in their upcoming schedule. The Pistons have won 14 of their last 17, so this is not some soft spot on the calendar. It is two confident groups running straight into each other. It shapes up as a possible finals preview when Detroit hosts San Antonio on Monday night, and it does not feel like much of a stretch to say that. San Antonio is still without Mason Plumlee, while Lindy Waters is listed as questionable, so the Spurs are not quite at full strength. Detroit, on the other hand, expects to have its main group available for this one, which always helps when you are trying to maintain a strong run like this. These teams have not faced each other yet this season, so there is some mystery baked into the matchup, but both sides bring real momentum. The Spurs are riding a season-high run that includes a 9-game stretch after blowing out the struggling Kings in their last outing, and the way they closed that game hints at a group that is not easing up. Over this hot spell, they have put together 8 straight wins, each by at least 9 points, which is not something you see every week. Their last 7 victories have all come by double digits, including wins by 10 over Oklahoma City, 28 over the Lakers, 13 over Golden State, and 27 over Phoenix. When a team stacks that many comfortable results, it usually tells you the level is real and not just a fluke of the schedule. Given that run, it feels risky to go against San Antonio against the number right now, especially when they seem to be covering with room to spare more often than not. The Pistons are hardly cold, though, coming in with 5 straight wins and looking sharp on both ends. Still, the absence of Isaiah Stewart, suspended 7 games for his part in a clash with Charlotte earlier in the month, quietly matters. He may not be the headliner in the box score, but his 10.0 points and 5.1 rebounds per game and his work on defense have real value, especially against a front line like San Antonio's. Thanks in large part to Stewart's effort around the rim, Detroit has been one of the stronger interior defending teams in the league. Without him, the Pistons can still be solid in that area, but this is the sort of matchup where you really want every big body available. That matters even more with Victor Wembanyama in this kind of groove. He has scored at least 26 points in 3 of his last 4 and is coming off a 28-point, 15-rebound, 6-assist, 4-block stat line in a 139-122 win over Sacramento on Saturday. Even defenses that are locked in can run out of answers for that kind of length and skill, and missing a key rim protector makes the job even tougher. With San Antonio's form, their recent margins, and Wembanyama playing at this level, taking the points with the visitors feels like the smarter side. There is even a decent chance they do not need the cushion at all if their current standard holds. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Antonio Spurs to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. San Antonio is averaging 118.6 points on 47.9% shooting while giving up 112 points on 45.4% shooting. From deep, the Spurs hit 34.8% of their three-point attempts and convert 78.6% at the free throw line. They allow opponents to shoot 35.9% from beyond the arc and pull down 46.6 rebounds per game, which keeps them from constantly scrambling in transition after misses. Detroit is not far behind on the scoring front, putting up 117.6 points on 48.1% shooting and allowing 109.3 points on 44.2% shooting. The Pistons knock down 35.2% of their threes and shoot 75.6% at the foul line. They hold opponents to 34.7% from long range and grab 45.7 rebounds per game, which helps them control possessions and keep games from getting too wild for long stretches. On paper, those numbers suggest two offenses that can score in bunches, but also two defenses that are good enough to prevent the matchup from turning into a non-stop track meet. Games like this often start with a lot of energy and intensity, especially when both teams have been winning, and that can lead to more physical possessions and fewer clean looks early on. Both sides rebound well and limit easy second chance points, which can shave off a few possessions compared to a fully free-flowing game. If the bigs protect the rim at their usual level and the perimeter defense stays connected, the overall pace can feel lively without the final tally exploding. San Antonio's ability to defend while still scoring efficiently and Detroit's balance on both ends can create a game where the scoring feels steady but not out of control. Even with talented scorers on the floor, there is a real path to a final score that lands short of the most aggressive expectations, especially if there are stretches where half-court execution matters more than early shot clock threes. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Sacramento Kings versus Memphis Grizzlies. The Sacramento Kings visit the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday at FedEx Forum in a matchup of two teams that have been limping through the season more than sprinting. Both sides know they are short-handed, and that tends to turn these games into more about grit and habits than pure talent. The Kings come in off losses to the Magic and the Spurs, and they have the Rockets on deck next. They have not won a game since January 16th, which is a long time to sit with the same bad taste. Stretches like that start to wear on a locker room, even if the group keeps saying the right things in interviews. Memphis has not exactly been lighting it up either. The Grizzlies fell to the Heat, then bounced back with a win over the Jazz, and now look ahead to a date with the Warriors after this one. They have dropped 5 of their last 6, so they are not in a place to get cocky, but they at least have shown they can still piece together a decent performance here and there. The injury report is a big part of the story. Sacramento is still missing DeAndre Hunter, Domantas Sabonis, and Zach LaVine, which removes a lot of stability and creation from their rotation. Memphis has ruled out Ja Morant, Zach Edey, Brandon Clark, Cedric Coward, and Santi Aldama again, so they are obviously far from full strength too. Even so, the Grizzlies, as thin as they are, have proven they can still jump a team on the right night if the energy is there. That is why the lean still goes their way in this spot, even if it feels strange to say that about a team this depleted. Laying points with a group carrying that kind of injury list is not exactly comfortable. Honestly, it makes you double-check the matchup twice. But trusting the Kings in this current state might be even tougher. They have not won in over a month, and their against the spread record sits at 21 to 35 to 2, which tells you the market has not been underrating them. Earlier this month, they were actually favored at home against this same Grizzlies team and still lost, giving up 129 points in the process. When a team is burning tickets and failing as a favorite in a head-to-head like that, backing them again without any real positive shift feels like forcing things. At home, Memphis becomes the choice, less because they inspire total confidence and more because fading Sacramento right now is the only stance that fully matches the evidence. As our first pick for this matchup, the Memphis Grizzlies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Sacramento is averaging 110.1 points on 46.2% shooting and allowing 121.1 points on 49.5% shooting. They shoot 34% from 3 and 77.6% from the free throw line. They allow opponents to hit 36.4% from beyond the arc and grab 41.3 rebounds per game. Those numbers hint at a team that leaks a lot of points but does not completely fall apart on offense. Memphis sits a bit differently statistically. The Grizzlies average 115.5 points on 45.9% shooting and give up 117.8 points on 47% shooting. They connect on 35.1% of their threes and 79.1% of their free throws. On defense, they allow 36.2% shooting from deep and collect 44.8 rebounds per game. So both sides can score, both give up plenty, and both rebound well enough to keep the game from being all fast break chaos. Here is the thing though, the context around those numbers matters. Both teams are missing key playmakers and finishers, and that usually drags down offensive flow more than defensive effort. When rotations are patched together, sets often get simpler and you see more late clock looks, more isolation, and more games where the pace feels choppy. Even with decent season averages, that kind of situation can shave several clean looks off each side over 4 quarters. If the shots from outside are even slightly off and both teams spend stretches grinding in the half court, the total can stay under what the raw scoring averages might suggest. The combination of heavy minutes on tired legs, short-handed rotations, and inconsistent form points toward a game that has scoring runs, but not a full game track meet from start to finish. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Houston Rockets. The Utah Jazz visit the Houston Rockets on Monday at the Toyota Center in a matchup that looks lopsided on paper but a bit trickier against the spread once you peel it back a little. The story here is less about who is better and more about how comfortable anyone should feel laying a big number. Utah is coming off losses to the Trail Blazers and Grizzlies, with the Pelicans waiting next on their schedule. The Jazz have dropped 19 of their last 25 games, so their recent form reads like a team going through the motions more than mounting a late push. Houston just handled the Hornets, then fell to the Knicks, and we'll see the Kings after this one. The Rockets have split their last 8 games, which kind of fits their profile as a young team that looks great some nights and a bit scattered on others. Injuries are shaping a lot of what these teams look like right now. The Jazz are still without key front court names in Jaren Jackson Jr., Jusuf Nurkic, and Walker Kessler, and they have Keontae George listed as questionable. The Rockets have again ruled out Fred VanVleet, Steven Adams, and Jae'Sean Tate, so they are also missing some core pieces in the backcourt and front court. Houston hammered Utah by 28 in their first meeting this season, and the Jazz answered with a 133-125 win on December 1st, so both sides have already felt what happens when the other gets rolling. From a pure talent angle, the Rockets should be able to control this one and win comfortably if they play a clean game. The problem is that the number is big, and Houston has not exactly been reliable in this role. They are 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games as a double-digit favorite, which suggests the market keeps expecting blowouts that do not really materialize. Utah, oddly enough, has been much kinder to anyone backing them against the spread. Even while openly leaning into a tank, they sit at 31-26 against the spread on the season. Back in December, they beat the Rockets outright as double-digit underdogs, and they are 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games when catching that kind of hefty number. So even though the Jazz are not winning many games straight up, they are hanging around just enough to cash tickets when most people expect a full collapse. With that history, those recent trends, and the size of the spread, this feels like one of those spots where you reluctantly hold your nose and grab the points. It may not feel pretty, but the data keeps pointing the same way. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Utah is averaging 118.2 points on 46.9% shooting while giving up 125.9 points on 48.8% shooting. The Jazz hit 35.1% of their three-point attempts and 79.8% from the free throw line. They allow opponents to shoot 37.1% from deep and collect 44.4 rebounds per game. Houston comes in averaging 114.3 points on 47.2% shooting and allowing 109.5 points on 45.8% shooting. The Rockets are knocking down 36.8% from beyond the arc and 75.7% at the line. On the defensive side, they are giving up 34.9% shooting from 3 while pulling in 48.4 rebounds per night. On the surface, those numbers might suggest a shootout, especially with Utah's defense giving up so many points and such high percentages. But the context matters a lot here, and the context is heavy injuries, shifting rotations, and a Jazz team that, while it can still cover, is not exactly pushing the tempo with sharp execution for 4 full quarters. Missing multiple front court pieces and having a key guard listed as questionable can slow down offensive rhythm, even if individual players still get their numbers in stretches. The Rockets, for their part, are without their primary organizer in Fred VanVleet, which can make their offense feel more streaky, with more empty trips and fewer easy looks late in the clock. Rebounding strength on both sides also points toward fewer second-chance explosions than you might expect from just the raw scoring averages. If both teams are cleaning the glass, you get more one-and-done possessions and fewer wild extra opportunities that send totals soaring. Combine the injury cloud, the possibility of some uneven stretches of half-court offense, and the fact that both teams have shown they can defend the three-point line at a reasonable level, and the path to a total that lands under the projection becomes very realistic. It is easy to look at season scoring averages and think fireworks, but the current versions of these rosters hint at something a bit more muted. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.